Hello everyone, it's Lauren, and I'm finally back with a video after not having internet for a week or so. But this video is going to be a bit longer than usual because this time I actually have a pretty big topic that I plan to talk about. And that topic is commissions. So one of my early comments that stood out to me was someone asking if I could cover the topic of commissions, like how I started with them, and if I have any tips on how to begin, advice on how to get better, and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that's a really good video topic and video idea. And I almost actually didn't go through with this video because I got myself into a little Twitter drama over a commission related tweet that I thought was harmless. But then it received a bit of negativity that scared me. I'm not super used to having the kind of audience that I do now, and so I didn't realize that the things I said could offend some people, and I was scared of making this video and receiving the same type of negativity. But I do think it's just better for me to use my audience to reach out to people with the things that could benefit them rather than withholding it and keeping that information to myself. So here I am making this video. And I know people are going to be curious about the so-called Twitter drama, so if I have space in this video, I'll include a small section explaining it, talking over it, and showing the tweets that people were primarily mad at me about, and I could kind of, I guess, give myself a chance to explain myself and the things that I said. So before I get started, I want to emphasize that I am not an expert at all in the things I'll be talking about. This video is not to be taken as some sort of rule book or strict guidelines. I myself am still learning, and these are just what helped me on my journey. Some things that worked for me may not work for you. But aside from that, I'm going to be covering the different variables that I believe are what lead to success when it comes to doing art commissions. However, before I get into those nitty-gritty details, this first section is going to be for the people who have absolutely no idea where to even start when it comes to commissions. So if you are clueless, you're so confused about these different words that people are saying about commissions, right now I'm going to be talking about the basics of what you'll need to begin. And I'll also be including some other helpful stuff that can assist you in doing everything and organizing and all of that. So the basics of what you will need to start doing commissions are payment method, commission samples, and communication methods. Those are the bare minimums. So number one, payment method. Commissions are a transaction, so you'll need a way to get paid. And the most basic and popular method is PayPal. So right now I'm going to talk about PayPal, but I'll also mention other methods afterwards. If you plan to use PayPal, one thing that you're absolutely going to want to make sure of is that all your transactions are through goods and services, because they are commissions. They are goods and services. Don't do these transactions as family and friends, because that is also an option on PayPal. If you do it as family and friends, there's a small chance that you can get in trouble if you do that, and it's just better not to risk it. Okay, so let's say you're gonna use PayPal. What now? So there's multiple ways to handle payment with PayPal. The most straightforward way to do it is that you can send your PayPal email to the client, and then they will go on PayPal and pay you through that email that you gave them. Or you can do it the other way around, where they give you their PayPal email and you will go on the website and request money from them. You can also generate a paypal.me link for your account, where when a person clicks it, it'll take them straight to a checkout payment page that will be sent to your account. And the last method for PayPal, and the one that I personally use, are invoices. Invoices, I know it's a scary word if you don't know what they are, but they are essentially bills that you send to the client. So invoices take a bit more work to create. You're gonna need to create like a template that you'll reuse over and over again. But if you're planning to take commissions very seriously in the future, you should really look into getting started with invoices, because you can also include your terms of service in them if you have one. But I'll talk about the terms of service later. So invoices, they are different in the way that it'll say on that bill what the person is buying from you and how much you are charging for that thing. You can also enable tips so the commissioner can tip you when they pay that invoice. But if all this talk of invoices is scaring you because it's like big words and it sounds a little bit more complicated, don't worry, just stick to the basic methods of paying or requesting through email or the paypal.me link. And if you don't want to use PayPal, I know some artists have used Stripe or even Venmo. However, I've never tried them, so I don't know how reliable or safe they are. So I would say just stick to PayPal for now. And so, number 2, once you have payment method, you need to figure out what you are going to draw for commissions. So what kind of commissions will you want to offer? Are you going to draw sketches for people? Are you going to go with fully colored drawings? Maybe you want to do chibis. All of that is completely up to you. But once you figure that out, you're going to need samples. So people who are looking to commission artists will always want an example of what they're getting. So let's say you're going to be advertising your commissions on Twitter. These samples are going to be the pictures that you'll be posting along with how much you're going to charge within that tweet, okay? Now, number 3, you're going to need a communication method. People are going to need to know how to contact you if they do want to commission you. So I currently use Google Forms for the actual requests themselves. I suggest doing that because you can have the references in their whatever communication method they prefer and all that, and their PayPal emails. You can ask for that within the form too. But then after that, once I actually start talking to the person, I use Twitter DMs and emails for communication. If you use emails, create an art-related one. Don't use your personal email. It's just safer to have an art-related one. And if you're on other platforms like Instagram, you can also do communication through direct messages there. Some people use Discord, however, I'd stay away from that unless you're making an account specifically for art commissions. Don't use your personal Discord for these. And never ever communicate through phone texting. That's just dangerous that you're giving your personal phone number to complete strangers, okay? Just choose whatever method you want, but make sure that you're using something safe that still protects your identity somehow. Especially if you're a young person and you're just beginning this, you need to protect yourself first. So once you figure out your communication method, you'll also need a way to send the file to the client. So in the past, I've used Dropbox, I've used Stash from DeviantArt, Google Drive, and nowadays I just send them straight through email because it's easier to upload it that one time, at least for me because I'm lazy. With Dropbox, you have to upload it to Dropbox, then send them the Dropbox link. Same with Google Drive and same with Stash. So I suggest email for that. But once again, you can use whatever you want. Just make sure you use one of those that allows you to upload the HD file. Don't just like send them a picture through Twitter DMs because Twitter destroys the quality of pictures. They are paying for a good quality picture, like HD, like the best quality that you can give them. So make sure that you can do that. I also forgot to mention that you can use Coffee to host your entire commission page. It'll be easier for payment, it'll be easier to put up your samples, and basically you'll just like, let's say, tweet out that your commissions are open, post your samples there, and then link your Coffee commissions page somewhere. But yeah, you can also use that. That is also a helpful tool just for the basics of commissions. Okay, I hope I haven't just rambled on, but those are the basics. Once you have payment method, samples, and communication, you can begin doing commissions. But you might ask, Lauren, you said that there are some stuff that can help me out. So remember how I mentioned how you can put your terms of service into an invoice? Well, you should probably look into creating a terms of service. So your TOS is what people agree to when they commission you. This should be in written format, either in your invoice if you use invoice, or on a separate page in a website like card in your commission sheet if you have one, whatever website you're using to host your commissions, whether it's Twitter or whatever. The way I created my terms of service was looking at other artists' policies, and I kind of just read them, and then I took and copied what I liked about their policies. So right now, if you want to make a terms of service, get a Google Doc or a Word document and get typing, because I'm going to list the things that you should probably put in them. So the first thing that you should have in there is something like this. By commissioning me, you agree to the following, and then list your policies. So by doing this, you can hold people accountable to whatever they agree to in these terms. If someone tries to scam you by refunding on PayPal and your terms say that you don't allow refunds, you can show people the terms that you might have put on your invoice and have proof that this person agreed to it upon paying this invoice. It's one step closer to winning a possible dispute on PayPal. Some other policies that I highly suggest that you should include are a refund policy. Will you be accepting refunds? At what point will you accept refunds, and at what point will you no longer do refunds? In the past, I have said something like refunds are only allowed if I've only sketched the piece, but then today I don't allow refunds at all. Second, how much of the payment will you require before beginning the artwork or sending the final piece? So for me personally, I don't even start drawing until I have full payment. And I know some artists have done half payments, like they'll only start once they've received half the payment. And this is just up to you, whatever you prefer. If you want to trust people and start before even payment, then that is up to you. Just you need to understand the risks of getting scammed by someone. Third, you should include what you will be refusing to draw. In this section, you can say if you're willing to draw NSFW stuff, furries, will you draw mechs or robots or stuff like that. You can also put what you prefer to draw so people know what you do best in. In mine, it's like a thing that my friends have made jokes about, but I put that I won't draw old people and I prefer not to draw glasses. It's just, you can include anything you want there. People will see your references, and if they read your terms, they'll most likely respect them. And if you say that you don't want to draw glasses or facial hair, then maybe they'll tell you, hey, my character has glasses, but if you don't want to draw them, then you can leave them out. It just makes things easier for you. And fourth, I think I'm on 4, whatever. You should include how long the commissioner should expect to wait. What is your turnaround time? How long do you usually take to draw something? Just so that they aren't unexpectedly waiting like 2 to 3 months for a commission. If you know that you can sometimes take that long, you should include it in there. I usually like to finish my commissions within the same month that they were paid for, so that is what I put in my policy. But I also put in there that if any circumstances happen, it could take up to 2 to 3 months. Okay, it's just like a disclaimer. 5, I think I'm on 5. Nowadays, you should probably include this. Will you allow your work to be turned into an NFT? In my terms, I specify that the commissioner can't turn whatever they paid for into an NFT, and no one can just go on my account and take a picture and turn it into an NFT. Of course, this doesn't have like much legal backing, but it's just, at least it's there. At least it's written somewhere. So 6, you're gonna need a policy about whether or not you want to be credited anytime your art is used. So if a client uses their art in like a YouTube video or in their stream, how do you want to be credited, or do you even want to be credited? If you put this, and if you put that you want to be credited and you see that they don't do it, you can message them and be like, hey, in my terms of service, it says that I wish to be credited anytime you use my art, so like, can you please credit it? And you just kind of hope and pray that the person cooperates. And honestly, that's all I could really remember right now about this super important policies to put in a terms of service. Once again, you can always look at another person's terms and just kind of pick and choose some stuff that you like that you also wish to be a policy of yours. Just do what you need to do to protect yourself, because that's what the terms are for, is to protect you as an artist. So outside of terms, some other helpful things that could benefit you and the clients when it comes to commissions is a queue page. So a queue helps with organization for yourself. You can kind of list like where you are with a commission, what your progress is. And some people use Trello or Google Sheets, where commissioners can go to it and see like how close you are to their slot, or how close you are to finishing the thing that they paid for. If you have this, update it frequently and link it directly to your clients so that they know it's there. And the last thing I'll mention right now for like the basics, because I feel like I've been talking too much for something that is supposed to be simple. You're gonna see a lot of artists use commission sheets to advertise, like on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. You can make one of these if you want. Look around, search for other people's commission sheets to know what you should include in yours. It's like terms, you know? If you see a format that you like, just go ahead and try it. Just do it, okay? You can even look at mine and see how I do it and copy it if you want. I don't really care. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just rambled and said too much for something that was supposed to be basic, and I hope I didn't overwhelm anyone. I think I got carried away a little bit, but anyway, it's time to get carried away even more, and I'm going to talk about what I believe leads to success when it comes to commissions. So one of the biggest things, if not the most important thing, aside from being able to draw when it comes to having successful commissions, is having an audience. This is something that everyone is going to struggle with. Gaining an audience is one of the hardest things to deal with as a social media artist, or just honestly being on social media in general. And I got lucky with my beginnings because I was already active within the Twitch gaming community when I started doing commissions. I would type in the chat of small streamers and befriended some other viewers. So in a couple small Twitch communities, I basically became the person that people knew was an artist. Like, oh hey, she's that one girl who can draw, basically. And this was the main way that I got a lot of my clients back then. So streamers would commission me, then include my art in their channel, which in turn lets their viewers see my art. And some of those viewers are also streamers themselves. And this was the cycle that really benefited me because of the social network that I was a part of at a young age. And so what I suggest doing is making sure that you can build up your social network in one way or another. Align yourself with a community and become active. Talk to other artists, reply to their posts, and genuinely compliment their art. Some of those artists will notice you, and some might even follow you. At least on Twitter, one of the main ways I got my followers was getting noticed by bigger artists whenever I commented on their art. So my tip when it comes to commenting or replying to other artists is to be as genuine as possible. Be specific about what you're complimenting them on. What artists with bigger followings are so used to seeing stuff like, your art is so good, oh my god, your art is so pretty, oh this is so nice. They see that all the time, and so a part of them kind of becomes numb to those types of compliments. But a comment that is more specific, like for example, I love the way that you shade yellow tones, it makes them really pop out. Something like that stands out because it's different from the others. So anyway, I would comment stuff like that and eventually became mutuals with some of the artists that I really liked. And in them following me, that gave me more exposure whenever they would retweet my art. So, what finally brought me over 10k followers this year was art of my original characters. And I genuinely cannot tell you what I did differently, which made it get so much attention. It got around 20k likes on Twitter, and I got like 4k followers just from that one tweet alone. And I feel like I owe a lot of the attention that that tweet got to the big artists that are following me, because I feel like some of them had retweeted it and caused it to get so much attention because their followers had seen it and not necessarily my followers. And then their followers started following me. And so I don't know, it's just kind of how social media works. I can't really say I understand the algorithm of Twitter too much. I know that nowadays you have to kind of censor the word commission. You're not supposed to include links in your main tweets because Twitter tends to push those down. It's just difficult to really know what you're supposed to do, and I barely know. But replying to artists, getting them to notice you is one way that you can go about it. But obviously, don't desperately grab for attention. Do it with the most genuine intent that you can have. Another thing that I think is almost like a cheat to gain more exposure is drawing fan art. So fan art is so effective because anyone out there on the internet is bound to like whatever character you drew fan art of. And they might follow you expecting more art of that character or franchise. One way you could go about it is to find a franchise or character that you genuinely like yourself, and then just draw a bunch of fan art of them and post it, because people will notice that, people who like the same things, and you'll start to kind of like be known for drawing that thing. A lot of artists become known for how they draw a certain character within a fandom, and that becomes their niche. And when it comes to having a niche, one example that I could say is that last year I used my Final Fantasy character as a commission example. And I did this with a full intent of wanting to draw more Final Fantasy characters as commissions, because I would notice that I don't really get them as much as like other characters. And it worked. Like, it was a lot more effective than I thought it would be. So a lot of people began commissioning me for their own Final Fantasy 14 characters, and because I started drawing them so much, I guess I started to become known for it, like drawing Final Fantasy 14 characters. And honestly, everything I'm talking about is easier said than done, but finding that niche that you could be known for is going to be extremely helpful in building an audience, because it also promotes consistency. And one thing I will also mention about fan art is sometimes you kind of have to sell yourself out and basically clout chase. It sounds bad, but honestly, everyone does it. When I was younger, I took the chance of grabbing for exposure by drawing fan art of the streamers / YouTubers that I like to watch. So I was really into League of Legends back then, and I drew fan art of Lily Pichu and Lol Natsumi, and they actually noticed it. And so I got so much exposure out of them retweeting my art, and they even eventually both commissioned me at one point. And so that gave me so much exposure. Another thing I did was I would do a giveaway around every 500 followers. So at 500 followers, I think I did a giveaway 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. And I did this a lot during my earlier years. However, giveaways do attract a lot of like inactive followers. So people who will just follow you that one time for that giveaway and then kind of forget about you. So they never really interact with your art. And they just kind of become a number for that follower count. So at one point, I had around 2 to 3k followers, but I was only getting 50 likes on my tweets. So I had 3K followers, but barely any engagement on my tweets. And I do believe that it is because a lot of the followers I got was from giveaways and they became those inactive followers. So I'm not too big on suggesting giveaways. However, I did still want to mention it because it is something that I would do to gain more numbers. I just think that it has more cons than pros. I think it promotes more inactive followers than it does active ones, but go ahead and do what you want. Try them out if you think it's going to help you. I think I'll even host another giveaway soon here on YouTube, but that'll happen when it happens. But yeah, those are some of the things that you can do to gain some followers and kind of build up an audience for yourself. Not everything, but it's what I remember at this moment. So the second thing that I'll be talking about is advertising. So if you have an audience, you're obviously going to need a way for them to see that your commissions are open, and you're going to need to be able to effectively promote your commissions whenever you do open. I mentioned earlier in the basics to make a commission sheet. These commission sheets should have a lot of eye-catching things. Think of them like YouTube thumbnails. You kind of want to clickbait people, but not clickbait them because they should be seeing exactly what they're going to get. Oh god, I hope I didn't confuse people by saying that, but yeah, these will be your primary tool in getting people to be interested in your commissions. Some people, most people, don't like to read. Mentioned terms of service before. Most people are not going to read your terms of service. And in that same way, people aren't going to want to have to click through a bunch of links just to see the price of your commissions. When it comes to commission sheets, I told you to look at how other people make theirs. You're going to have to include certain information in them that will let people know very quickly what they're going to get and what they need to do in order to commission you. So you're supposed to make these sheets with the purpose of enticing possible commissioners very quickly. So it should have the samples of your best work, how much you're pricing for these commissions, all the different options that you might be offering, the currency for payment, and somewhere, it doesn't have to be on the sheet, but maybe on the post that you're using to promote the sheet, is you should include how to contact you or how to request a commission, be it in the form of Google Forms or just messaging you, emailing you, whatever. Aside from advertising, I also want to emphasize that you should be prepared to communicate in a professional manner. So I've commissioned a couple of artists who I didn't particularly want to ever commission again because the communication was very, very messy and informal. Like, it almost felt like there was too much back and forth and that they just weren't really taking it as seriously as I was. So communicate as smooth as possible. Try not to waste people's time by not including information in a message that you should just have included. So I actually have a message template that I copy and paste when messaging clients for the first time, and I let them know what their slot is, I send them my queue link, and I let them know of any details that they should know about the commissions. Like, I allow delayed payments, but I also remind them that I won't start unless full payment is received. So you don't have to talk like a robot, but just try to be respectful, Commissions are a business transaction and you should be treating it like one. This person that you're speaking to is paying you, they are a customer, and what you're doing when you speak to them is customer service. So you should speak to them in a way that lets them know that you respect them, which in turn will cause them to respect you. You can be informal, but once again, just do it in a way that is respectful. Don't be rude. So the last thing that I'm going to talk about is pretty much related to the Twitter drama that I got into, which I had mentioned earlier in the intro. And that topic will be going to cover drawing skill and pricing your commissions. So in my tweet, I had said I'm begging artists to charge more than $20 for their commissions, and This caused many people to reply to it saying, "Oh, but I struggle to get customers even when it's under $20. What if I price it higher and then no one ever buys it?" And I replied to that type of sentiment by saying that if you're not getting many commissioners when your art is cheap, maybe it's time to take a step back and improve your drawing skill. And I think a lot of people took this in a way where I was telling people that their art sucked, which is definitely not my intention. And many people started calling me rude and saying that, of course, there's like a lot of variables in why people aren't getting commissions, and it doesn't always mean that they need to improve their art. And I absolutely agree with that. I know that what I said was from a place of privilege, but people were really taking my words and twisting them, because I never once disregarded that there are definitely other variables when it comes to why people aren't getting commissions. And that is part of why I'm making this video, is to explain other things. So for this section of the video, let's just say that you have done everything I talked about. You have built up an audience, you've made commission sheets, you've advertised very well, and you've basically done every other factor right, except you're still not getting commissioners. And my logic when it comes to that is that if you've done everything right and your prices are cheap, but still no one wants to commission you, then maybe it is your drawing skill that is the problem. Because one of the harsh truths when it comes to commissioners is that people are much more likely to commission good art versus just okay art. This is an incredibly touchy subject for many people, because no one wants to hear that their art isn't very good. And I don't want to tell people that their art isn't good. That's why I said it's okay, especially if you're a beginner. That's okay. You can still very much open commissions. If you have an audience, people will buy beginner level art. They won't really care about skill. But you also need to recognize that people will always have opinions. Some of them are much harsher than others, and these are the same people that will be interested in giving you money for your art. So you'll need to recognize that it is still your responsibility as an artist to yourself, that you need to continue trying to improve your work. Don't settle at a beginner skill level. Always have improvement in your mind. Your art doesn't have to be godlike for you to open commissions, but if you feel like the quality of your work is what's causing people to turn away from commissioning you, then maybe it is time to step back and just spend some time to improvement. And I really don't know how to say it in a way where people won't take me the wrong way, so I just hope that if you're listening to this, you are taking it in a more positive light. Experiment with styles when it comes to improvement. That is what I did. I experimented with whatever drawing styles, with whatever, experimented with processes, with lining, with coloring, and in one way or another, I managed to find certain methods that really vibed with me and ended up making me really liked how my art looked. You can even experiment with whatever commission styles that you're offering. Maybe you're sick of doing colors, so then you'll only offer sketches, and because you offered sketches, you can price them cheaper, and then people start to really like this sketch style or whatever. But try everything, because eventually you might find something that really works for you. And when it comes to pricing, I got a lot of flack for telling people to price more than $20, and of course, I have a bigger following, so I almost have no problems raising my prices because I don't have to worry about people not commissioning me. Right now, my highest price is $300 and people still commission me, and so I'm very privileged to have that type of audience and experience to be able to do that. But my logic in tweeting that was that if you have your commissions open right now and you have a steady stream of commissioners and you think you can get away with raising your prices, then just go for it. Supply and demand still applies to art commissions. So if you know that you could really supply a lot of people with their art, like you can pump it out fast, you can draw a lot, and there's a lot of demand for your commissions, then you need to raise your prices. Test the limits of it. But obviously, if you're struggling to even get a couple of commissioners, then don't raise your prices. Maybe it's time to try something else out. Maybe do a different art commission style, or in the past, I've even lowered prices because I was struggling to get commissioners. There's just so many variables in why you might be struggling to get commissioners. I can't cover all of them, and everyone's situation is different. And I'm just sorry that I said something so privileged on Twitter that I angered so many people. I don't regret tweeting that out, and I hope I don't regret making this video, but I really am just writing on the possibility that my words, despite maybe offending other people, I hope that I can still help others with what I say. But yeah, honestly, I think that that is everything that I have to say about commissions, and I hope that I didn't ramble. I tried to be as organized as I could, but I do feel like sometimes I still kind of veered off topic. And yeah, that is basically everything I have to say about commissions for this video. And since this is a long one, and I don't want it to be just like music for 20 minutes, I guess I'm gonna just try to find other topics to talk about for the rest of the video. Maybe about my recent move, suffering without internet currently, or my future plans with this channel. But yeah, I'll just let the music roll for a little bit and I'll be back in a bit. So as you guys can tell, my channel has been growing fast lately, and I had barely like 500 subscribers a couple weeks ago, and now I have like 13K, I think, but it's making me really, really excited to make more videos. So if you've seen my other videos, you've noticed that I primarily only work on commissions when I draw on them, and I want to steer away from that actually because I've been doing commissions for 8 years now, and I'm getting a little sick of it, to be completely transparent with you. I find it very difficult to find time to draw for myself, and I don't want to find myself in a position where I lose my passion for drawing because I spend so much time drawing for other people that I no longer enjoy it. And so the fact that this YouTube channel is finally working in my favor, it's opening up more possibilities about what I can draw in these videos. I think it allows me to accept less commissions because now I can make money doing these videos, and I can actually draw for myself and show you guys my characters and do themed videos like redraws and drawing. Maybe I can even redraw your guys' art. It just all seemed so exciting. I just moved recently, like I mentioned before, and I've been thinking of doing vlogs, but I don't know, every time I think about it, at the moment, I get a little scared of doing it because I just feel like my life isn't interesting enough to actually vlog about, but we'll see about that. So my recent move is the first time I'm moving out of my parents' household, and I thought I was going to be really homesick for the first week, but I think with the way things are turning out right now, I'm almost like in a state of shock. Like, it kind of feels like I'm numb because of all the stress. Like, I'm emotionally numb. I still haven't cried about being homesick. I haven't cried about missing my family. And it's kind of getting me worried because I'm like, where is the emotional breakdown that I have been long awaiting during this move? And I'm kind of predicting that it might all come crashing down in a couple of weeks when classes start, and I'm gonna turn into a mess. But you know, we all go through it. Sometimes a good crying session is all you need to just finally open your eyes and get ready to face the world. But yeah, adulthood has been very hard lately. I've had to do so many phone calls for like the first time. I had to call the power, I had to call Spectrum, and there was like a failed Spectrum appointment because I didn't know what I was doing, and I forgot to like get access to the electrical box. It was just crazy. Also ordering furniture, and then there was like problems with deliveries, and it's just, oh God, adulthood is really hard. And then next year I'm gonna have to worry about taxes, but you guys don't want to hear about that. But yeah, I'm really excited to do redraw videos. That's one I for sure have planned, because I have this one character that years ago I was planning to draw every year. It's like this girl with green braids and a hat. And I'd drawn her, I think, since 2015. I've drawn her 4 times, I think, and for some reason I stopped. I think it's because I just kind of didn't have time to do it. And this year I really want to do it because I do feel like I have improved a lot since the last time. And I think the next video will be the Q&A, because a lot of you had a lot of questions for me, and I want to get as much information as I can out there. So next video is a Q&A, and I was also thinking, as a way to also celebrate the YouTube milestone, I wanted to host some sort of art contest. And I've always been a bit stingy when it comes to art contests because I've always felt like whoever is hosting it, it's just a bunch of free art for them. And I didn't want mine to be like that. So the art contest won't be drawing my characters because I don't want to just gain all this free art for only a few people to gain something back. So if I do an art contest, I want the participation to be drawing for yourself. So my idea is having some sort of theme or prompt for like an outfit design. And you can choose any of your characters or even someone else's character, maybe fan art for any franchise that you want or whatever. Basically, any character that you want, design an outfit for them that matches the prompt. And for the prompt, I was thinking, I don't know, maybe like a vampire outfit or like one that has frogs in it because I've been really into frogs lately, or something with yellow. I don't know, just some theme like that. And whoever wins, whichever one I like the most, I would like to redraw that character and draw them in the outfit that you designed. And I was thinking like 3 winners, something like that. I don't know, it gets me excited like thinking about it because it encourages people to really get the creative juices flowing, and it'll get people to design an outfit and they can get some art from me too. And you won't be feeling like you've kind of been robbed or like scammed into giving me free art, because even if you don't win it, it still means that you're able to design an outfit for whatever character you chose, you know? And it doesn't necessarily only benefit me, and it benefited you because you designed something. And being able to say that you designed something, that it feels great, you know? And so I really want to do that in the future, but I will think more on the details. But if you guys have any opinions on that, if you want me to just go ahead and just do it, let me know, because it sounds very, very exciting. But yeah. I think I'm running out of time, and so the last thing I want to talk about is just really showing my gratitude and thanking all of you for subscribing to me and for watching my videos and just supporting me. I mean, I said that I wanted to express my gratitude, but in reality, I'm really bad at it, and I honestly don't know like the best way to express my gratitude other than just making more content for you guys, because it has been feeling really amazing to see all these comments, to read what you all have to say about these videos. And it's just crazy how my channel has finally gotten the attention that I've always wanted for it, and it's all thanks to you guys. And yeah, I really don't know how to say thanks other than just saying thank you for all the support. It really does mean a lot to me, and it really keeps me going when it comes to thinking about my future and stuff. So yeah, sorry for getting all sappy and stuff, but yeah, thank you for everything. Thank you for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video can help someone out there. But yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.